We welcome each and every one of you, and we hope you're just as excited as we are to talk about the subject of winning the lottery, which seems to really find an odd amount of resonance with so many of you. And we say, rightfully so, it is quite exciting. We want to provide you with the basis of understanding, one might even say perhaps even somewhat of a process to ease your way to the accomplishment of it. Now, as usual, let's put winning the lottery into perspective first. The reason why winning the lottery appeals so much to such large amounts of people is because it brings sort of the idea or the promise of fast change. It is talking about these massive amounts of money that a lot of people only allow themselves to imagine in their bank accounts through some sort of miracle, like the lottery. So there is a desire for wealth, for money, for abundance, and yet it seems to be a point that is often very dramatically far away from where you're currently standing. You very rarely find millionaires and billionaires talking about wanting or even needing to win the lottery, but you rather often find it within people that seem to have less money. We are telling you this because we're wanting you to understand that difference between where you stand right now, money-wise, and therefore also energetically, and where you're wanting to go energetically to such lottery win, the difference between those two, where you are and where you're wanting to go, is the reason for which there is such so-called small chance of winning the lottery. You're not playing against the odds. You're playing a game of energy. So it is like saying, while you're on step number 1, that you want step number 15. And now, the question is, can you manage to close the gap fast enough? Can you close the gap from step 1 to step 15? Now, by the way the game plays out in your reality, by the way it is represented by odds, you're logically able to tell the answer is often no. But also you're familiar with the concept of lottery winners out there that do manage to do it. So if we had to give it a go, how would we do it in your stead? First important thing to understand is that it needs to be an actual desire of yours. You need to feel some sort of excitement about winning the lottery. And it is not enough to say, I really need $50 million right now. It is far better to say, I would really, really love winning that lottery jackpot of $50 million. You see, the energy is very different. So, first question to ask is, do I really want to win the lottery? Or am I just begging the universe for money because I don't have any? If you find, and even if you didn't find that yet, you can make yourself find that. If you can find excitement for, or the desire for wanting to win the lottery, you have mastered the first step. Now the second step is to ask yourself, What am I reaching for emotionally? How am I wanting to feel by winning the jackpot? How would the things feel that I'm wanting to do with the money I'm winning in the jackpot? And oftentimes you will find these things seem to feel quite different. In other words, much better and far more elevated than a lot of the things you're currently experiencing. Now, isolate those specific ways you want to feel: free, joyful, energetic, happy, peaceful, clear. Isolate those feelings and let them sort of become thoughts and ideas. Give it attention. Find ways to feel really good about the lottery, but maybe even about other things, for no specific reason for now. Allow yourself to sort of make the journey to a free and happy person. We're really putting the emphasis on it because that is the energy that you will, in 99% of the cases, require to attract the event of a lottery win. That also implies, and we want to put some more emphasis on that this is often irrelevant which numbers you pick. A great majority of players that play the game of the lottery still think it is a game of picking the right numbers, and we assure you that it is not. We assure you that any combination you choose, no matter what your odds are telling you, can very well be the winning one, and that it will happen when it is meant to be. And it is meant to be when your energy and that of winning the lottery, in other words, the energy that you have assessed the lottery win to be, are identical. When you are a match to it, when you are ready for it, being ready for it means feeling predominantly the way that you would feel if you had it. Now you're a match. And then, when you practice that, not just for a minute or 5, but for hours, for days, when you sort of become this free and abundant being, there's 2 things that could happen. First one could be, you might actually win the lottery. It's not unlikely. You do need to sort of travel from step 1 to step 15 emotionally. But it's doable, and you'll know when to pick a ticket. The easiest way we can describe that urge is, you'll be sure of it. It's never, should I buy a ticket or not? It's, I need to buy a ticket now. In other words, when it's not a clear yes, it's a clear no. And we know that you know what a clear yes is, because you haven't starved very often yet in your life. In other words, I'm hungry, I need food is a very clear signal. You understand that. It's going to feel that way. The other possibility, as you become this sort of free and abundant being, is that you might discover you're not actually as interested in the lottery anymore as you thought you were. Other ideas that lead you to just as much abundance and money as the lottery might enter your life. And we think that's also a way of winning the lottery. To find a passion of yours, perhaps, that turns out to maybe be a business or whatever else, In essence, you will win, and you will win big. You make the choice to identify what it is you desire, physically but mostly emotionally, and give that your wholehearted attention. And we think it really doesn't matter so much whether it turns out to be an actual lottery win or some other way that fulfills you just as much. Or maybe both. Really nothing saying that you can't have both. But you will win either way. And the process does not become easier than that. It is all about closing the gap between where you stand right now and where you're wanting to go. It's about understanding that it is not about picking the right numbers, but it is about becoming the person you want this lottery win to turn you into before the lottery win has happened. And as you become that person, you will know when to buy a ticket and where, and what numbers to pick or not. You will know. So leave that aside for now. It's not important now. What's important now is how you feel about the lottery, but mostly about yourself. And as you improve that and fine-tune that and improve that and fine-tune that and improve that and fine-tune that, you'll find that so much more in your life transforms to the better than just the likelihood of your lottery win, but that as well. And we think it's one of the most beautiful journeys anyone has ever entered. So we want to really encourage you to take those steps, identify your desires, physically and emotionally. Make the choice, make the decision to dedicate your attention to this feeling place, to the type of thought that brings with it. Thoughts that make you feel good, not thoughts that make you feel, well, worse than good. Don't settle for less. And as you do that, allow the magic to happen. And allow it to transform people around you too. We're eager to see you attract and become all the results that you've ever wanted.